Welcome to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, coming to you from the Cargo District Recording Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina, where we discuss the most fascinating topics of life. I'm Tyler Yaw with my co-host, Chris Kellum, and each week we interview a special guest to learn how they acquired their wisdom over a glass of whiskey. So, sit back, pour yourself a glass, and enjoy Whiskey and Wisdom.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, coming to you live from the Cargo District Studios. This week, you have your hosts, Chris Kellum and
Tyler Yaw.
And we're bringing on the amazing
Rhema Tilman.
Thank you. I was like reading, I'm like, I'm going to ruin her name.
It's fine.
The way you have to remember it is the podcast name that she has because it rhymes.
Oh, yeah. Today with Ray.
Exactly.
Rhema.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah. So not only a Port City Young Professional, what's the official ambassador, right?
Yeah. Ambassador coordinator.
Oh, nice.
Fancy,
there you
right?
go. Yeah, very fancy name. Host of Today with Ray podcast and the newly minted award winner of 40 Under 40 for Wilmington.
Yes, that's right.
That's awesome.
Right. Snaps.
Yeah. So we're racking up all the PCYP members and all the 40 Under 40 members. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler's got a few more years before he can qualify for it.
I have 10 more years. Don't make me so old.
You got to be 40 or under. So
Yeah. Oh, you have 10 years. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you only have a couple of years.
I'm not going to make it.
I don't know. I feel like if one of us makes it, the other one probably
Yeah,
will
you
at
know.
this point. We're kind of a dual package.
pretty much.
Oh, I
Pretty
love
much.
it. But before we get into the full details of all your backstory and everything going on, we are sipping on something funky.
It is from Sledge Distillery, and we can't drink this without giving my wonderful sister-in-law a shout out, who's actually moving up to North Carolina from Texas next week.
Oh,
Fun.
Yeah, so that's very exciting. We're excited to have her down the road from us. But before she moved up here officially, she brought us back some whiskey from Texas.
yeah. So this is the Rocky Branch bourbon. So weeded bourbon finished in their charred, it literally just says their charred new oak barrels for about 3 years. So something a little different.
Yeah.
Looks like more of a smaller batch.
It's real tasty. I should have left my coffee and poured a little bit in my coffee.
Can't say I haven't done
You
that.
can. Yeah, I'm going to test it out. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That's sweet.
Tastes like some Tennessee whiskey.
From
That
Texas.
that is way sweeter than I was expecting.
Yeah. Did you look at the mash bill on that when it was up?
It literally just says weeded bourbon.
Oh, it tastes very corny because it's very sweet.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It was smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very smooth. I liked it.
So the bottle it's in is in one of those like on the rocks bottles.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're looking like at the one of these smaller bottles. Like if you're going in the liquor store, it looks like the ones that are like pre-made drinks.
It's like the
Pretty
hand
much,
from the
yeah.
Adams
Yes.
family.
And I was like,
Yes.
like who?
The hand.
Oh,
hand.
me. Yeah. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, no, it's decent. It is an 85 proof, which is why it's a lot smoother than what we're used to tasting because we're usually sipping on stuff over 90. But
Bullish, y'all.
hey,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Tyler, I didn't start off with a low proof.
Yeah.
Right.
Like our first whiskey on the podcast was
Oh yeah, it's
Big
pretty
V,
high.
and that thing was
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to make it. I would have just been like,
Right.
There would have been no talking.
coughing the whole
Coughing.
time.
Well, enough about our whiskey right now. Tell us a
Yeah.
bit about yourself.
So I'm Rhema T, and as you mentioned before, I am the host of Today with Ray, which is the show that highlights everyday entrepreneurs, which we can get into a little later. I am a Wilmington native, which I'm kind of like the unicorn now,
Yeah.
but I do have a caveat. So like I moved and lived in Myrtle Beach for a little while, came back, went to high school, and then left and came back. So kind of like born and raised, but wasn't here the entire time.
Okay.
But all of my family, born and raised here, all my in-laws. So it's definitely interesting and wonderful to see the influx of what I call transplant people
Yep.
and literally being, I don't know, like I said, the unicorn of being born here and just finding so many different people that love Wilmington now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We've had this podcast for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And we've had less than like 10 people
Right.
who've been born and raised.
Yeah, and I can definitely say Wilmington has changed so much over the years that it's kind of downtown to see it thriving the way that it is. It's like, I remember just being a ghost town sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. What else? Was in the Navy for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
So
I
Navy
didn't know
vet.
that.
Yeah.
So I saw that. So it says you're a gunner's mate.
Yeah.
I'm always confused because I was in the Army, National Guard, and it was just like, hey, this is all your different MOSs. Blank.
Yeah.
Go. And then everybody I know from the Navy is, well, I was a gunner's mate or I was mechanics. I was like, what does that mean?
So gunner's mate, I was the person that basically your armor. I housed all the guns. I taught people how to shoot in the military. But then I specialized in vertical launching missiles.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? So when you see me, like, you just see this short girl with green hair. You're like, no, like, I really did do a lot in the military, and it was incredible. We got to shoot a missile off the ship for a training exercise, not because we were in any danger or anything, but that was one of the highlights of my whole career was seeing that shoot off the ship. So aside from that, any type of weaponry I've kind of dealt with from, your 9mm all the way up to 50 cal. So,
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't really look like I would have been doing something like that, but I did. And then when I got off the ship, I actually supervised the entry point of the world's largest Navy base in Norfolk. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was incredibly stressful.
I can imagine.
All the contractors, truckers, visitors, crazy, the amount of people that come onto that military installation. So after that, I was like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. So, yeah. And then I moved back to Wilmington, been here ever since.
Nice.
So what brought you back to Wilmington from all of the other places that you've traveled to?
So honestly, if it was up to me, I would have stayed in Virginia. I absolutely loved it. But like I've mentioned, all of our family is here. All of my husband's family is here. So when we decided to have kids, we kind of looked around and was like, some help would be great right now.
Exactly.
So yeah, we moved back, and we moved back at the most horrible time ever. Florence just happened.
Oh,
Yep.
And so we were like, that's probably wasn't the smartest idea, but we're here now. So
Right.
yeah, we worked through it, and we were able to help, in the midst of that. And yeah, so everything's been great ever since,
Right. So how'd you get involved with PCYP, and what made you want to get started with them?
Great question. So before I started my own podcast, I was the community manager for a startup company called Genesis Block.
Oh, yeah.
And so as the community manager, your job is literally to be in the community. So I got in contact with Jenna, and she's like, hey, just come out. So the first couple of years, I was just a guest, and I was just like, I really love what they're doing. I love the initiative that they're trying to take with, connecting people that's new, just professionals in general. And then I was like, okay, I think I want to be an ambassador. I can really see myself, helping this organization. And she kind of pulled me to the side one day and was like, hey, I know that you're great in XYZ from Genesis Block, so do you want to take on a little bit more? And I was just like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So I think at the beginning of this year is when I started actually like being the ambassador coordinator. And what that really just looks like is day of event, I make sure that all of our volunteers are in place where they need to be. If someone doesn't show up, making sure that, someone's filled in. But I love it, man. Shameless plug, but if you haven't been to an event, they're every third Wednesday. Make sure to check the Facebook to see when their next event is. Yeah, it's a great way to get connected if you're new in the city. So,
Yeah, that's great. I just want to go to Genesis Block real quick.
Yeah.
So I've heard about them a lot. I've never actually gone or done anything too involved with them. So can you tell our listeners and myself a little bit more of what Genesis Block is and what they do?
yeah, so Genesis Block is a startup. Basically, think like when you're actually in the ideation stage of your business. They have training courses you come in called Jumpstart Academy, where you're like, okay, I'm just starting out, but I need some structure. So basically they help you from the ideation stage to the full fruition being of that. And then they also started their own kind of networking event called Conversations to Contracts. Okay. So really they're wanting to help small business be in contract with bigger businesses so that the little guy doesn't get left behind. So you think of like your Monteith, big corporation. They want to do, appreciation for their workers. They'll contract out with a smaller, charcuterie business or event planner or something, of that nature. So that's what they're really geared to about right now. And let's see what else they're doing. They have Block Eats, which they've partnered with Cape Fear Community College North Campus. So now they're helping kind of these foodpreneurs and having a food incubator type spot. So the students will actually be, buying from local businesses now at that cafeteria at the North Campus. So they're really just about creating this entrepreneurial hub for everyone. So yeah, if you're a new business or you need kind of some guidance, make sure to check out Genesis Block. So yeah.
So if Chris is looking to open a bottle shop,
they will help you. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that your full-time gig?
So it was, and I stepped away from them, all love still, but I was realized that through them, I met so many entrepreneurs. And what I realized with talking with them is nobody is sharing their story. These people are working full-time jobs and still trying to create their dream on the side. Some people have left their full-time job using all of their savings. And I'm like, nobody is sharing this. They're just looking at this, high of being an entrepreneur. They're not working a 9 to 5. Yeah, that's right. But now they're working a 27-10 at this point. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to make an impact in the community where, our economic development really stays in-house. It's great when we have these bigger businesses come in because, that means money's coming into the city. But we don't want these bigger companies outshining the small guy at the same time. So I look at it and I was just like, okay, where's the soap companies? Where's the candle companies? Where's the people that, like I said, charcuterie businesses and event planning? Where are they at so that I can highlight their story and people can say, oh, next time I need them, now I know someone, because people do business with who they know, trust, and like. Yes. So if I can put a face and a name and a story behind someone, I feel like I'm doing some type of justice to them. So, yeah. So I left the full time kind of to go after my own dream and help others. So that's where I'm at.
So you're doing all the things that you're promoting for others.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really, looked at it like that. But yeah, essentially my business is really just to create a platform to highlight other businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Interesting. So it's still mind blowing to me that you're running this business as well as being a mother.
Yeah.
And just helping out everybody. How is that all combined?
Yeah, that's a great question. You really just have to, when you go into business or you feel like you want to be an entrepreneur, I guess you have to draw those hard lines before, because if you don't, everything gets muddled. And I actually interviewed someone on my show, and he really talked about how he went through an identity crisis because his business overtook his personal life. So you really have to create those hard lines okay, I'm not doing any more work past 5 or whatever your time is, so that I can still make sure that first me as the person is okay. Because if I'm not okay, then my marriage isn't okay, my kids aren't okay, and then my business isn't going to be okay. So I think that's what it comes down to, is really just creating those boundaries so that every bucket that you have isn't depleting. Because on top of running the show and being a mom and a wife, I'm also finishing my degree.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, okay, everything has to have a time frame to really complete everything. So luckily I graduate in May. So we're at the
great,
finish
yeah.
line.
There you go.
But
Right
it
there.
wasn't always like that. Halfway through, I told my husband, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, you're almost there.
Right.
So I guess to answer your question, how does it really all work is because I know that I have to compartmentalize everything so that everything runs smoothly and I'm not overworking or overstressing myself.
Yeah.
It's something I've learned more recently because I've always been the true millennial where it's like, oh, hey, you know, this needs to be done. I'll help. I'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
And just learning to just separate, be like, hey, you know, it's my day off. Like I don't need to worry about work, or, you know, I clocked out. Let me go take care of this.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's harder for an entrepreneur to like separate those boundaries.
It really is. It really is. And because sometimes I'll just be laying there like, did I respond to that person? Did I create my schedule for posting this week? Did I, you know, do enough? You know, it really does get overwhelming sometimes.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about this podcast. So I'm assuming Today with Ray and the podcast are all like your business all together thing.
So let me take a step back. When I said I was getting my degree, it's in digital marketing and social media. So then when I started and I wanted to do the talk show, I wanted to do something where I can still use the degree. And so social media is a beast in itself. You know,
Yes.
everyone can look at that and just be like, okay, where do I start with this?
Yeah.
So yes, Today with Ray is my show, and I hope I will in the future be able to capitalize the digital marketing side of that. Again, already marketing other companies on the show, but in the business of podcasting, it's about sponsorships. So I hope to take that and really be able to use and mesh the degree and my show together. So when I think about the show, I want it to really be something that people can be captivated towards and really, I guess, sorry, I'm thinking of a good answer. Capitalize and really, you know, draw into their story. So when you think of social media and digital marketing, they've kind of already been meshed, but it's different. When you market yourself or market a business, to me at least, it's not the same as social media. So social media, think about it like before when we only had, you know, cameras and you're literally just showing your friends what's happened over the weekend. I think that's where the true authenticity comes behind the brand when you really push the social part of social media. So I hope when I show these people their stories that they can really get the essence of their authentic self. And that's why I do video-based podcasts instead of just audio, because you can hear us laugh and it, you know, all be good. But I think just as me, I'm like a visual person. So I want to see the laughing happening, not just kind of hear it. And like I said, putting a name to a face and really just seeing their passion and fire when they talk about their business goes a long way. So how do I put it all together? I think my show or podcast helps with that social media part of it. And as they talk about their business, then we get into the digital marketing side of it. But I think altogether, that's what I'm really looking for to happen.
Has there been anything that you learned part of your courses that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm using this tomorrow?
Yes. So SEO or
Search
engine optimization is such a huge factor to really captivating your target audience. So if you're looking for certain people to watch a certain episode, like I had a person on there, Randy from Craft Grown Farms. I'm not going to put #cars on that episode. I'm going to put farms. I'm going to put homegrown. I'm going to put, you know, organic. So when people are searching for that type of stuff, that's what comes up. So that's one of the biggest things. And then your filter bubble It sounds crazy, but your phone is really tailored to the things that you like, you comment on, you search. So when you see you're on Facebook and you see that shoe ad that comes up on your Facebook, and it's just like, how did they know? Well, your phone has, open source mic. So when you're talking like, hey, babe, I need a new pair of shoes, your phone's like, okay, that's now in your filter of thought. Let's push that agenda. And that for me was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Because sometimes it's so bad now, like you'll be thinking about something and it's on your phone. Like how? And now at the tail end of school and everything that I see is AI.
Oh yeah.
It is scary a little bit. And a lot of people in this degree field is like, oh God, is it going to take our job? And it's just like, no, because it still doesn't have this humanistic factor to it. So I would learn to use it to your best ability and really find that fine line of like how to use it and not let it use you. So
yeah, my favorite quote that I've heard about AI so far is AI is not going to take your job, but someone using AI will.
Exactly.
So I was like, that is good to know.
That is good to know. Yeah. So for everyone that's like, I don't know where to start.
We've been using it more and more for the podcast as well, too.
Yeah, same.
There's just so many things that's like, you're not going to use because like you said, there's not really a humanistic feel to it yet. You're not going to use exactly like a plug and play type of thing.
Yeah.
But it'll give you a really good kind of framework to where to start from.
Oh, absolutely. I use it all the time. If I'm just like in a brain fart type of mood or whatever, and I have my calendar, but I really just can't think of a caption right now, or like what's a good hashtag. I'll be like, hey, what's a good caption to use that will get people ready for Monday, like let's start the week. So like yeah, it really can help you in those moments, so don't be afraid of it.
Yeah. We don't get paid for this, so
right.
They get a shout out for free. It's called Swell AI.
Okay.
It's really neat. So you'll take your the podcast episode, you put it in Swell AI, it creates a full transcript for you, and then from that transcript, it'll give you as many title names as you want to look through and go through, captions for every single social media that's out there, relevant hashtags, relevant SEO to put in like the back end of it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. Look, another one, free promo, Opus. I use that all the time. That takes long form videos and makes those nice little reels or TikToks for you. I'm like, hey, that's less editing for me.
Exactly.
Cool. So,
I mean, I go back and forth because I like to use AI, but I also like having like the human essence and the human touch on everything. I mean, part of the reason why we use Sway for all of our social medias,
which is a sponsor.
Yeah. I mean, they are the best sponsor for us right now because using AI is helpful, but knowing someone who can help you use that product properly and then tailor everything for us has definitely helped us grow. Well, the studio page as well as Whiskey and Wisdom,
right?
Which has been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because you do get the human element behind that, like actual people working on it and stuff, which is nice because then that is a plug and play type of thing. You had someone that knows our business, knows what we're doing. They're creating it, taking it, and then you just put it straight on the website.
Yeah.
So it's finding that nice combo of both.
Absolutely.
And they're kind of like our producers. You were saying earlier, like, world is just so crazy and busy with everything going on that you took on a producer.
I did. So season 1 and season 2, I was just so gung-ho. I was really, excited about it. And it's been such a learning process because the first 2 seasons, I was week by week just grabbing people, recording, editing, marketing. And I was just like, this isn't it. Like, something's got to change. So this last season, I reached out to someone. We batched the entire season in a week. So, that was really great. And I didn't have to edit anything. I just got sent all the videos. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I like this. I like this a lot. I just get to come in, talk, and leave.
Yeah. See, we go back and forth because like we do a bunch of batching just because we have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And trying to collect everybody on different days is just kind of hard. So we do a lot of recording at one time. So I totally understand that. You mentioned you have seasons. 2 questions.
Yeah.
1, how do you choose between like season 1, season 2, like when you start it, and how many episodes do you typically do?
Yeah. So going into this, I just kind of wanted like to dip my toe in it, see if like any fish would bite or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll go in and I'll just do like 10 episodes. I can quickly get 10 people off the rip and like, okay. So, and then I wanted it to be more like TV show, because I know podcasts, they do it like year long.
Right.
And I guess I didn't want to commit myself because I had other things going on at that time where I'm like, okay, I can just do it like season base and kind of like Netflix you if I need to, like give you a 10 episode and then wait 2 years if that was necessary. So after season 1 complete, I was like, okay, I can manage everything that I need to. So then I was like, okay, I'll do another season. And that's just kind of how I've been rolling with it. Again, really just making sure I take a full glimpse of everything that I have going on in life. And like I said, if I need to Netflix you guys for a moment, but just know it's not forever. So yeah, 10 episodes in a season and really just going about it like that so that I'm not committing myself to unrealistic measures.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have like a story arc within each season? I joke with Tyler because like we started 2023 and we've had so many people on, and a lot of them are in like the health field or something to do with like being healthier or like physically or mentally. And I was like, did we mean to do this? Like, is this the arc of this 2023 or is it just like what's happened? Yeah,
no, funny enough, this season has been all about pivoting. Like literally everyone, and it wasn't like, oh, you know, when you fill out their question, you're like, have you pivoted in your business or anything like that? When I just talk to them and I let everyone know, like, I do everything unscripted because every entrepreneur, every entrepreneur is different. But it just turned out that in every person's story, they've pivoted in some way, whether they were in one business and they completely scrapped that, or different renditions of their business. Like I said, self versus entrepreneur pivoting style. So yeah, I guess if anything, I guess that would be the arc of this season is pivoting. Yeah.
Nice.
It's always funny kind of looking back on it. You're like, wow, there's kind of an undertone of all these. You never really tried. Like the first year that we did it, like the first season, I guess you could say, was all about like overcoming obstacles in life, or like something came up and they're like, but I had to overcome this. So it was all overcoming obstacles. And like Chris said, somehow this time we got hooked on all of these different doctors and performance coaches and like all kind of different things too. So it's been neat just kind of how that falls into place for you.
It just, when it works, it works.
Right.
And, you know,
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Exactly. People spend a lot of time trying to plan those things out. So it works naturally. It's even better.
Yeah, it is when the organic nature of everything just falls into place. It's just like, you know what, that was really good.
Right.
That was really good.
Sorry. It does fall in place. Not everything does fall in place.
Oh, yeah.
As we've learned and trying to figure out with like just being podcasters, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error for sure.
God,
I'm sure you understand that.
God, yeah. Like even this season of learning, like, okay, maybe you should batch everything because you're working with 10 different schedules right now.
Yeah.
And there's been no call, no shows sometimes. And you're having to scramble like, okay, what do I do for this episode? Like, and I've learned that you just got to roll with it. There's been plenty of episodes in the first 2 seasons where I'm just kicking it by myself because like you got to keep pushing.
Yes.
But then I'm like sitting at home like, do I continue like, is this going to be life right now? And it's just like, no, it's just a little bump in the road. And yeah, so I've definitely learned how to just keep rolling because what are you going to do at that point? They're not going to come. They're not going to show up. You got 10 minutes, you know, before the podcast actually starts. Right. So you just keep rolling with it.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Now that you've finished season 3, have you had a lot of entrepreneurs like knocking down the door to kind of get their word out and stuff too?
So funny thing, it really is word of mouth, and networking is so huge. I had one, she was like, hey, you should interview this person. I was like, okay. I reached out to them, and they were on season 3, and they referred someone else, and they were on season 3. And now it's just kind of been like a domino effect, like, oh yeah. And when I go out places, they're always like, oh my God, you have it? Yeah, I have this small business. Just like, great. I'm already checking for season 4. Like, just hit me up on my email. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're like knocking down at the door, but they're definitely like ringing the doorbell and like just kind of standing there.
Right.
Like, so yeah, it's been like a slow roll, which is fine. And I guess that's one of the things that you kind of just have to not expect. It's not going to be 100K followers in 2 weeks. Like, I think consistency is one thing that I've learned in general. I'm very squirrel brain when it comes to creative things.
Same.
So like, funny, my husband was like, you can't buy any more arts and crafts stuff because our closet or garage, like, we can't take this, because I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And so I really had to buckle down. It's like, okay, if I'm going to make this work and like it legit be a thing and not just like, oh, that was fun. Consistency will always win. So that's what I'll take for right now. It's just being consistent about this.
Yes.
We can definitely agree with that too. And we'll make this a nice plug for our other sponsor too, just because it kind of fits in. So it's 30 off local. And what we've always been trying to do since the beginning of it, we're like, hey, running a podcast is very expensive. How are we going to like come up with a way to start making money for it? We're like, okay, we need to start looking for sponsors. And we had a few that kind of like dropped in for a while, and we're like, this doesn't even make sense what we're doing. And so we like drop it before we even aired it. Or like we would cut it out and just reach back out and be like, hey, it doesn't fit. And so finally now we're like, what really makes sense for our guests and then our listenership and stuff too. And then when we had the opportunity to work with 30 Off Local, I was like, all right, this actually does make sense for us, because one, our podcast is based in Wilmington. And it's based on Wilmingtonians. And also it's people that are reaching out and wanting to go and experience what else is out there, especially the new stuff. I know, especially with Port City and Profession, we always have new people coming in and trying to expand their businesses. And so 30 Off Local, it's a good way for people that found out like, hey, you know, is this place good? Should I go check them out? You can go ahead and get a gift card for that location for 30% off. So it's one of the best deals that you're going to find around town.
Absolutely.
So you can shop local, save local, and support local. You literally just go on to their website, which will be in our show notes. It should be 30 Off Local. Select the location, which is North Carolina, Wilmington. You just make an account and you can purchase gift certificates. So you get the full price gift certificate for 30% off. And you can use it for like fine dining. You can use it for like hangover helpers. Like they have VitaFlow IV clinic on there. They have clean juice. They do like getaways. They have a promo right now for like the Inn at Bald Head Island. So you get 30% off and stay there. And then even localer, more local. Anyways,
more local.
Localer, I like that.
Localer, yeah.
So using localer is they got shops in Cargo District too. So like Mess Hall, Cheese Smith, Fermental, great ways to set you up. And like we said, shop local, save local, support local.
Yeah, I saw that a review at a loft was on there. I was like, I will be buying gift cards for that, mostly because that place is a little pricey up there, but they have an amazing view, so I don't want to miss out on that either. So, have you been up there yet?
I have not. My grandma was there. Her class had like a get together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they were a rooftop party for these.
I was gonna say, I was like, good for them. That's awesome.
Gosh, at least
like
took
from
the
4
elevator.
to 7.
Right.
But she said it was beautiful up there, and I'm just like, how did my 70-year-old Nana beat me to a rooftop bar? Hey, she's living her life though. But
That's good for her.
Living her best life. But yeah, so we're talking about living our best lives.
Yeah.
And I feel like that leads me into how you got into your award for like 40 under 40.
Oh my gosh. I was telling Tyler off camera, I don't know. Consistency. I was telling Tyler, I was like, I really just want to know who nominated me so I can say thank you. I'm really honored and thankful for it. Another funny story I was telling Tyler off camera is that my husband won last year.
Oh, no. So wait, who's your husband?
Rhema Tilman. Yeah, he won last year.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He won last year, and it's not that I was jealous, because I was not jealous. I was very proud, but like he doesn't like any of that type of stuff. So I was like, man, I wish it was me. So he was like, well, wouldn't it be funny if you won next year? And sure enough, I'm like, well, you need to speak out like me getting $1 million or something, like,
Yes, please.
right? You know, like if you said like, hey, it'd be funny if you win next year. What else is funny? Like, it's funny if I get a new car, like wink, wink, something like. So yeah.
Morning affirmations, like, all right,
yes,
I'm gonna win a new car.
I'm gonna win, right? So
Yes.
he's gonna gift me, because I don't want to do a car payment. My car's paid off. So
I feel you. Yeah.
I was in that same boat. Like we had 2 cars paid off, and I was like, oh, we're doing good. And my car was like an 07 Sebring convertible. Like I pulled up to work looking like Michael Scott. And then my window stopped working.
Stop
My
it.
convertible top didn't want to go down.
I was like, oh, you want to pay me off and be done with me?
Right.
I got something for you.
And I had no AC.
Stop. That's
Yeah.
not. That's
It doesn't
That's
work
a
in Wilmington.
non-negotiable.
Wilmington.
Yeah. That's.
I did it for 2 years with no AC, dressing up in a full suit to work every
Oh,
day.
bless you.
And people are like, Chris, are you okay? I'm like, yeah.
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to lose weight.
Right. I've sweated out my body limit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable. AC in Wilmington during the summer, you gotta have it.
There's some places you can get away with no AC, but you can't be in a spot with stop and go traffic, and it can't be a spot with this much humidity.
Right. And Wilmington has both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I love it, but it kills me at the same time. When I look up, I'm like, really? Why am I in stop and go traffic right now?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's kind of going back to the 40 under 40 thing. It's funny with a lot of these things around Wilmington, because you'll just like get nominated for something and then never know about it until like you're in the middle of it and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much. I was just checking emails one day, and I literally got the news right before my birthday. So I was like, oh, I'm just doing routine checking email, and I'm like, holy crap, this is the best birthday present ever.
Yeah.
But again, whoever nominated me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, I don't know who you are. Hopefully you'll be at the ceremony so I can like shake your hand, give you a hug, something, buy you a drink, something. Like. But yeah, so.
That reminded me of something else too. So we had a couple people on that have been nominated by Star News for best of whatever their category is. So one of them is Thaddeus Brown, the very first guest we had on the podcast with this pressure washing. And the other one is one of our latest podcast guests, which is Paradigm Physical Therapy, which is who I go to now. But they both got nominated and they didn't even know they were nominated. And so one of their friends was like, hey, I just voted for you. And they're like, voted for what?
Like, wait, hold on.
Right. No, that's always, it's a gut feeling. I mean, hey.
Hey,
I don't know what's going to come from this, but it's a great start.
it is.
It's a good shout out for the podcast too.
Right,
Yes.
right. So, yeah, this year they normally work with Star News, but this year they're working with the Greater Wilmington Business Journal.
Right.
Okay.
And so, I hope I'm not giving too much away. They had us do like video promos and stuff like that to try to mesh print with like digital marketing.
Right.
And so those videos should be coming out. July, maybe August, September, leading up to the ceremony. So that should be fun to watch. Congratulations to all the other winners, and
It'll be interesting. I feel like you have the personality to be in front of a camera, and then you have some people who are going to be like, hi, thank you for nominating me.
Yeah, pretty much. And I guess you guys wouldn't know because it's more audio, but I have to tell people like, hey, when they get in front of the camera, like, don't look straight at the camera.
Right.
Like, this is a conversation. I'm here with you. Like, we're just talking like it's over coffee or something. And by the time we sit down, they're like, blah, blah, blah. If you want to make a distinct point and like look at the camera, by all means. But like, you would not imagine how many people are like, hi, so my name is Rhema T. And I'm like, dude, loosen up. Maybe I should start giving them whiskey before.
That was the main premise behind the whiskey and wisdom.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Tyler came up with the idea of like like, because he used to sit at the bar all the time and like meet a bunch of random people and have conversations.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Not creepy at all.
No.
I was like,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
I
yeah.
completely eavesdrop and go like, hey, not to eavesdrop or anything, but I completely listened to that story. Let me interject.
And now, because he's being a great father,
Trying to.
I'm the guy who sits at the bar.
Yeah.
It's always the most awkward. Like, we were joking with the owners of Starling because they're opening up a new bar. And I was like, I mean, if you want to give me a little placard so this says this is my seat
Right.
at the new spot, I'm down for it.
That's
It's not a dive bar. Like, I feel like you always see that at like
Yeah.
true dive bars. And I'm like, because I would be that asshole who'd be like,
that's my seat.
My name is literally on it.
Right. Right.
yeah,
That is-
every time we show up at the Starling, like we'll be standing around and then like someone's sitting in my seat and I'm like, I'm just waiting for them.
See, at rounds, I can kind of do that because my name's on the wall 3 different places.
True.
So proves how much I drink, but it is what it
You
is.
used to drink.
I used to, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot healthier now.
That's good. But you know what? That would be a great like marketing tool. Like, hey, this is our guest of the month seat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then that would promote them to come in for the month because hell, if I see my name on the seat, I'm going to want to come the entire month.
Right.
And even if I don't drink, I'm going to just hang my feet, diddle daddle,
Yeah.
talk to people. Yeah. See,
It's a very good idea for your bottle shop when you open it up.
right?
I still have to narrow my focus.
So you know how we keep talking about like putting stuff into the universe, like for
Yeah.
that's why I keep saying it,
Saying
and he
it.
always looks at me, and I'm like, it's gonna happen.
It is.
And I'm like, I understand the concept of money. And, that
And there's
it
a lot
doesn't
of it in Wilmington.
doesn't just appear
really
out of nowhere.
is.
Oh yes, it
always-
will appear out of nowhere if you have the right plan and the right idea, and you find the right people, especially in Wilmington. It
Right.
will come from. You worked at
Network-
Genesis Block, you know
Yeah.
it.
Networking is so listen. Networking is so crazy. I've run into so many different opportunities.
Yeah.
Just from going out networking. I've really made a staple because I don't even have to tell people my name anymore. They're like, I know you. And I'm like, you do? And they're like, it's the hair. And I'm like,
You're like, oh.
so, I mean, find whatever your staple is. I'm telling you, networking is so crazy. And even down to the entrepreneurs, there's, like Tyler said, there's so much money coming into Wilmington. Fact, little known fact. As of 2022, a little under 200,000 businesses have come and started in Wilmington.
Wow.
So, like, you can be 200,001, but like, it's here.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilmington is starting to become like the new Charlotte. Everyone wants to start a business here. Everyone wants to move here, and like, yeah, just keep on speaking it on in the universe.
I feel like if we didn't have the river, like, we would have already taken over a couple other cities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because it's an island, pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much. I know. I believe that also. There's no more room to build like horizontally, so everything's just going vertically.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I live in the northwestern part of the county,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's nothing out here.
Just give it
For
a couple
now.
of
I was
years.
about to say, give it a couple years.
Because I know the people who own all that property, and they're probably just like, just wait. Someone's going to offer me enough money to be
Yeah.
like,
Like Mayfair.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like another Mayfair. in
Well, no,
Castle
I'm not
Hayne.
saying another Mayfair.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh.
saying, like, if there's land out there, people will come and they'll offer the right amount for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That would be funny, though, if they put a Mayfair. Leland needs one.
Stop.
making
Because
something
Leland
small.
is, I live in Leland.
Me
Leland
too.
is becoming way too much. I remember when it was a desolate, just trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's becoming way too much. We're getting that new oil change shop.
See, you're getting stuff, but you're not at the same time.
We're getting a Lowe's. That's a pretty huge deal.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
that's
It's
a
like,
huge deal for us
I was
out
like-
there. We had no type of home improvement store out there.
you have local home improvement shops.
We had an Ace that may or may not have what you needed.
Right?
Oh.
So that's pretty
Yeah.
huge. I'm telling you, we get a movie theater over there. I'm not coming over the bridge no more.
There was a movie theater, and you had a bowling alley, and they both failed.
Too bad. It just wasn't the right time.
Right.
Bowling alley, like, I love a good bowling alley, but it still gives you like that weird, like,
Putting someone else's shoes on, man.
yeah. So, in movie theaters, it's a pain.
True.
You know what
True.
I really would love?
What?
An outdoor movie theater.
Shut up. That would be a great idea.
People
Like
that
a
are
drive-in,
over
or you
40 are just lost their minds. And they're like,
yeah.
it's a drive-in. It was a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I had asked, like, a drive-in where you sit in your car, you want people to bring, like, picnic blankets and stuff.
No, I want both. Like a true, like when I say outdoor, I mean like you got the front spot up front where everyone throws their blankets out.
Got it.
Or you can roll up in your car and just sit there. I would be sitting in my car because I like my air conditioning.
Right.
Same.
Mosquitoes.
But
They're still talking about that minor league baseball team.
yeah, I was going to bring
So
that up
that'll be
also.
interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be, people are hot over that.
I think it'll be fantastic for
Me
that
too.
area because there's so much land. Like, what else are you going to do with the land out there?
Houses.
yeah,
Which I don't want.
condos. Everyone,
Oh, yeah.
you got to put like 15
Yeah.
in one space, not two.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
But
you're
same
right.
way, money is everywhere. Back to the original speaking your business out into the universe.
Right.
All of that to say, money is everywhere.
Especially for like small bottle shop, Castle Hayne type of thing. You know there's going to be
Right.
someone that moves in from like New York, New Jersey, PA
Yeah.
that has a ton of money because they just downsized. And they're
Right.
like, oh, it'd be super cool to own like a bottle shop out
Yeah.
here.
Well, the guy from PA probably upgraded. He was like, well, my house was 1,200 square feet and I sold it for $500K. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It really is.
One of these days. There is technically a bottle shop in Wrightsboro currently. Shout out
But you're
to
going to
Tipsy
have a
Goat.
better one.
Right.
I got to shout out everybody.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's what we're here to do.
exactly. That's the point of the
out.
podcast.
Exactly.
We are starting to round up on our hour already, though, believe it or not. So, talking about shouting out people, shout out yourself. Where do you want
gosh.
people to come see you?
Yeah, so you can find new episodes on my website, www.todaywithray, that's RHE.com. If you're a small business and want to get highlighted on the show, send me an email at info.twrhe@gmail.com. And if you ever see me around, just give me a wave, high five. I don't know if you're a hugger, but I am, so...
Fist pounder.
Beware.
fist pumps, all of that stuff. So yeah, I love to network. You'll probably see me around anywhere. And other shout out, if you are new, professional, or just want to mingle with others, make sure you come out to Port City Young Professional every Wednesday.
Third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday. Make sure to follow us on Facebook so that you can see where the location is going to be at. And
So wait, do you post on Facebook or Instagram?
both. Sorry. I seemed really old saying Facebook first.
Correct.
Right?
That's why I was
That
checking.
was really old of me and not very
What about
social
Threads?
media. You know, I'm not gonna get canceled. I need my pages. You know, they listen to everything. I'm just not gonna say anything before I get on my Instagram, and it's not there anymore. Right. We work hard, but Meta works harder. So I'm not gonna
Yes,
say
he
anything.
Fair enough.
But yes, and my fun question for you.
Yeah.
Well, we have two real final questions.
Got it.
One, what would be the definition of success for you?
Ooh, the definition of success. I think it's when you're happy with what you're doing and you don't need anybody else's validation for it.
Okay.
That's
a good
what
one.
that's what success would look like for me. Just knowing that like I'm happy doing and nobody else's opinion can sway like, oh, there's 7 other podcasts. Like, why are you doing that? Because I want to and I like
Right.
it and I like it. And that's what success looks like when I don't need anybody else's validation for what I do.
Kind of plays into my next question for you.
Okay.
And my last one is, if you were to tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Yeah. Be your authentic self at all times. Because there's going to, people will like you and find you and gravitate toward you for just being yourself. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to conform or mold to what you think people want you to be or act like. Always be your authentic self. And that's why I have green hair now.
I like it.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh my gosh,
It's been a
this has been
blast.
so much fun to be the interviewed person. So-
Right. Yeah. How was it
Yeah.
being on the other side?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I should do this more often.
Yeah.
Right.
One of us will be on your podcast before season 6.
Okay, that's a great timeline.
Well, no, because you already finished 3.
Yeah.
Depending on how much of a break you take, you're starting for 4.
Yeah.
So season 6 gives us time to open up a bottle shop if we need to. See?
Right. Oh, see, now he's
See,
on
now
board.
we're talking
Okay.
I've always been
Okay.
on board.
Okay. Got it. I'm going to hold you to it.
I am always that person who's like, there's a good idea, but I'm going to give you the bad side of it.
Oh my God.
Can't do that.
You have to have someone who like brings you back in.
Do you? I'm a very optimistic person. Like,
True. I've seen some people who come up with some outlandish ideas and no one holds them back. And I'm like,
It's fair enough too.
hey, if people can sell cans of air, there's no excuse for anybody.
You got that right.
true.
Pet rock.
Pet rock.
I have one.
Exactly. There's no excuse for anybody. So if you have that idea, just do it.
Yeah. Everyone's like, Chris, you need a kid. And I'm like, I have a pet rock.
Well,
See?
that's a lifetime commitment. At least businesses, like, you could file a Chapter 11 and just kind of be
Right,
done
yeah,
with
call
it.
it.
There's no Chapter 11 for kids. I mean,
No, he's trying to get someone canceled, and he was like, "Well, you could."
yeah, you know what?
no.
I'm done.
But yes, thank you guys for staying through to the end. Listen to all of our silliness at the back end. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. Check us out on all of our social media podcast stations, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the fun stuff. Tyler has created a Threads for us also.
I don't know if we'll use it, but it's
Yeah.
there because
mean-
I did not want Meta to get mad at me, so I played the game.
One thing, sorry. If you delete your Threads, it deletes your whole Instagram. Just shouting that out. Just
Yes.
shouting that out. So that's the only thing I'm going to say about it.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm just, if you find me on Threads, you will see my first statement, and it is very true. But yeah, have a good one. Cheers.